Hey, today this is our Women in Business podcast, episode number 6, and I have the honor and the pleasure today of having another diva, superstar diva from Dominican Republic. She's here in the United States now, but Leticia Arvello, I said that right, Leticia, right?
Correct.
Okay, she's on FFL Honor and Valor. She's in New Jersey. She lives in New Jersey. She's going to tell you a little bit about her journey with Family First Life and why Family First Life is the best place to work for women and even minority women. So thank you again, Leticia, for taking a couple minutes out of your schedule to talk to the women today about women in business. And we're doing this every week, Women in Business Wednesday. So thank you. Um, Leticia, so how long have you been with FFL?
About a year and a half.
A year and a half.
Yes.
Okay. And so how did you start out? Was it easy when you started out? How was it?
No, not at all. My beginning was very slow. In fact,
Mm.
I started a part time because I was just trying to figure. I never done life insurance, any type of business. I never wrote business. I didn't know anything about life insurance.
Okay.
So it was a very slow start for me. The first times that I went out, I didn't write business. But I knew that this was promise and I saw other people winning and I told myself if they can do it, I can do it too. So
Ab-
I hung on to the even the times that came home with nothing under my belt or nothing. I kept on going. I just made sure that the 9 to 5 that I had back then, I stayed with them Monday through Friday and then I started doing this on the FFL on in the weekend so I can get better and
okay.
just
Okay. And
test
here
the
it is
waters.
a year and a half later, and you're here. You're full time. Like you're all in, right?
I'm
That's
all in. I'm
that's
all
pretty.
in.
That's dope. So, how many times did it take you to pass your test?
I failed the first time.
Okay.
I failed
And
the
that still
first
didn't
time
stop you.
and it didn't stop me. I remember that when I got home, when I failed the test, I went straight to the books.
Okay.
Um, I used to live with my aunt, and she was like, "Oh, how did it go?" And I'm like, "Don't ask me. I don't want to talk about it." Like, so she knew that I failed, and then when she saw me going back into the training, because the training is free, she figured, okay, she didn't pass. She
Right.
didn't pass the test. But I remember I came home. I was neutral about it. I was like, if I get into my feelings, I'm going to get upset, and I'm just gonna give too much into it. So I was just like a robot. I was like, okay, I
Mm,
failed. And then I have no feelings. I made sure that I had no feelings about it. I wasn't upset. I was just like, I need to go back to studying. And the
good.
first thing I did when I got home was to hit the books again.
Okay. And then
Mhm.
reschedule your test, right?
And then I rescheduled my test again.
And then did you
What
pass it the second time?
Yes. What I did was the cool thing about it when you if you fail, they actually tell you where you went wrong.
Yeah.
So what I did was I tackled those areas that I wasn't remembering and that I had a problems remembering. And I just went back to the drawing board and tackled the areas that I wasn't too, that I didn't do so good in.
Got you. Okay. And then you passed it the second. So it obviously worked because you passed it the second time. And I always tell people you only got to take this test once. Like get it once it's done, it's done. Like you never have to do that again, right? As long as you
Exactly.
keep your license active. Now you told me that so I know you're a single mom. You have a daughter who's 8 years old. I always see you posting pictures of her. Obviously,
Yes.
the love of your life. What's her name?
Vida.
Vina.
Ironically.
That's very pretty. Now, so what would you say the difference in FFL? What has that done for you? You said Vina, right? With a V?
Vida, like life.
Vida. Okay, leaving la vida loca, like
Yeah,
Vida.
Vida.
Okay. Okay,
Ironically,
so
and I do life insurance.
there you go. So it was
Yeah.
meant to be. So, what would you say is probably the biggest difference now for you and Vita from now between from when you started to now? Like, what's your lifestyle difference? What has this business been able to do for you and her?
Well, it's amazing because I got into the point. I'm always I always say that I never stop learning, but I've
Mm.
gotten to the point right now that I think I'm doing a little bit better than when I started. So
Okay,
now
you definitely are. I remember when you started.
so now I have more confidence in
Okay,
myself, so I can play with the schedule. Like for instance, I don't when I worked at 9 to 5, I didn't have the luxury to drop off my daughter and
good.
to pick
Yeah.
her up. And so, on my dial days, I can drop her off and I can pick her up. And then
Mm.
on the days that I'm running, I can drop her off, but I have someone to pick her up because I'm on the road. That's the
Got
only
you.
time. So definitely that is helpful because you want to be there for your kid. Like
Yeah.
even people that are working 9 to 5, they want to be there for their kid. They just their schedule doesn't allow it. But working with family first, after you get a little bit like you get better at it, you have the ability to pick and choose your timing or your schedule.
Mm-hmm.
So I used to book myself for 8, my first appointment, but since I got better at it at this what I'm doing, so I can drop off my child, I my first appointment I started booking it at 9 because I got
Okay.
better, you
Got
know,
you.
and that's big. That's big,
Yeah,
you
it
know.
is. It is. I mean, when
Um,
my son was her age, he's 21 now, but when he was 8 years old, like he was in before care, after care, because we didn't have, and at the time I was married, but we had to, we needed to hold because he had a 9 to 5. And so we had a couple hours with him in the evening, and that was pretty much it. You know what I'm saying? So what I heard you say is that it's allowed you to give you more freedom, and
exactly,
it also is giving you more time with your daughter, which is important because they're only young once, and if you miss this
exactly.
time, you will never get it back. You know what I mean? And so that's a big deal, Leticia. Now, what did you do before you came to insurance? Did you have an insurance background before you came to FFL, or
No insurance background. I
what
had
did you
no
do?
idea. I was in the fashion industry. I did have
Okay.
office executive assistant jobs, but my main concentration was fashion. I did a lot of fashion merchandising.
Okay.
I'm not
That's
gonna
why you
say
looking
the
so fly then. Okay, it all makes sense.
thank you. I'm not gonna it's a really big company. I'm not gonna say the company. I don't think I can
Sure.
here. But I
Mm-hmm.
did merchandising for a lot of designers, some designers, but mainly just big stores.
Okay.
And I could tell you that I wasn't treated well.
Wow.
I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna do a PD I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna talk negative. But the fashion industry is definitely very, they're not nice. I feel
Okay.
like people think that you're gonna take their job. I think there's a lot of
Mm.
competition, and
Okay.
I was dealing with supervisors that you know my job had to be approved. So if I dressed a mannequin, it had to be approved. And no, I don't like that. And I'm like, and I used to think I did such an amazing job, and with
Wow.
prints and the colors, and no, it was always like, like I was like against the like it was never good enough.
Got you.
That's my
Mm-hmm.
experience with the fashion industry. I don't know if it has evolved, but fashion is always going to be my first love. But
Yeah.
I don't need to be involved in that. Like I don't need to be involved like I used to be involved. Like now I can, I could get fashions for me and my daughter, and maybe do something different later on because it's still I love fashion, but
Yeah.
it's not that's not how I want to be involved. I don't miss it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, so
I
you could, I mean, you could use this for a catalyst, right? Or a seed to be able to do something on your own that you want to do in fashion, right? Not work
Exactly.
for a corporate, you know what I'm saying, a big, a big department store or whatever, work for yourself and or have a boutique or whatever you want to do, but you can like I'm sure this is giving you also, and I think that's what I heard you say, like you realize that you are meant to do more than just work a 9 to 5 for the next 40 years and then die and then retire and then die, right? Because that really is what most people do in the United States is they think the American dream is go to school, get a good job, and go to school, get good grades, and get a good job, right? And most people are not living that lifestyle. So it sounds like to me, Leticia, what you've done so far for you and Vita is you created a lifestyle here. Like you've changed your lifestyle so that two, you can also give her she can see a bigger picture, right? So
Exactly.
now she's seeing you in corporate and now she's seeing mommy and doing being her own boss, right? And so she knows that she has options, right? I don't know about
Exactly.
you, but when I grew up, I didn't know that I had any options outside of going to school, getting good grades, and getting a good job because that's all I was told was available to me. So I love that. I love that that you like. I didn't know that about you, so that's amazing. Um, what what was it that attracted? Because that's so different, fashion to life insurance. What
Well,
attracted you? What
um,
attracted you to the life insurance industry to begin with?
the how people were winning, and
Mm,
the the person that brought me into the business, I I've always watched the person that him too, like he was always working and doing insurance prior to Family First.
yeah,
So I trust his what he was telling me. And not
got
only
you.
the way he introduced the business to me, also I was watching videos. You can go on YouTube and watch other people winning, people from different walks of life, people
Mm-hmm.
with family, people that were single. And I'm like, well, it's happening for everyone that's in Family First Life. It doesn't really
Yeah,
matter how old you are. It's a different world from where I was coming from, because in fashion it's not like that. You got to work your way up, and you
yeah,
got to know people, and sometimes they don't like you just because they think that they're gonna, like, again, there's always a competition. And I saw here what attracted me was that everybody was winning,
mm,
everybody wanted you to win, there was no competition. And I just believe, that, my upline, I believe what he was saying, the way he was
yeah,
explaining the business, and I was just like, it's a no-brainer. Like, I have to
yeah.
give it a shot. And I think that that's what attracted me about so many other things attracted me with about FFL. The fact that you can work for yourself, the fact that if you're disciplined enough and you have your schedule, you can always. No, I'm not saying for my lifestyle, you can always tweak your schedule as your life changes. Like I explained,
Mm-hmm.
picking up my daughter and stuff. A lot of stuff attracted me. The way we get paid, which is,
That part.
I'm a single parent. You know,
Yeah,
um, there's carriers here that they pay you within less than 42 hours. You have the money in your account. So I was
right.
just, this is real. So,
Yeah,
the training is free. People want to see you win. You don't necessarily have to go to your upline for a question. You maybe want to ask a single mom something, that
yeah,
she's in the business with you, and that person doesn't necessarily have to be in your group or in your team, and they're so willing to help and give you insight. So many things, like the whole entire dynamics of Family First attracted me to this
got you.
you know
And you're fortunate that this is the first company that you came to because I'm sure you've heard in your time being here a lot of horror stories about other companies and how people they're not making money and they're not able to have flexible schedules, like they don't have leads, right? Like there's so many other companies that don't operate the way that we operate, and it's a reason that FFL is taking off the way that we're taking off. What do you
yeah.
think? This is going to be my last like major question. What do you think about? You saw the video that that FFL is now partnered with Aflac.
Yes, I saw that.
That's exciting, isn't
It's very exciting. I was like, what?
it?
And
That's exciting.
I saw that they're in Puerto Rico now. I also saw
Yeah.
if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
Yo,
So
you definitely
I'm
did.
definitely gonna go to Puerto Rico, visit my aunts, and then do some write some business on the side when I'm over
Yes.
there because
Okay.
I gotta try
That's
it out.
dope. That's dope. So let the closing thoughts, Leticia. What would you tell a brand new agent? Doesn't matter, man or woman. What would be your biggest piece of advice for somebody getting started with Family First?
The biggest advice is don't quit. This
Mm,
works if you work. Don't quit
mm,
no matter how hard we as human beings we tend to run when things get hard, but I
mm-hmm.
think that if you stick around even when you don't see anything happening, like I said at the beginning, I wasn't writing any business, but I stuck around because I knew that
Yeah.
this business was promising. Those hard times, they pay off. Those people that tell
Yeah.
you no, those people that you help but at the end they tell you no, those people that they say no, I don't want it, it pays off because I heard this and I love this, the road always knows. I think one of those girls,
Mm.
she said the road knows, and I say God always knows. So when I help someone, it's gonna come. Even if I don't get the fruits of that help right then and there, it's going to come back to me. So
Yeah.
hang on. The trials and the errors, those are good because that's how you're gonna get good. That's how you're gonna get better, and you're just gonna become so confident that so confident that when I walk into a house, I say hi, how are you? And then I walk in and I'm like, tables this way. And I'm walking to the table as if I know where the table. I was not able to do that before, but I'm able to do that because of, confidence and just never giving up.
Oh.
So don't
So
give up.
one. So I keep saying one last question. Are
It's
you
okay.
are you trying to build you're trying to build your agency, right? Not trying. You're building your agency. You're looking for other hungry people, that want to kind of change their lives too. So how can someone get in touch with you? I know you have a funniest TikTok channel. What's your
Yes.
TikTok? What's your name on TikTok?
So my name on TikTok is Letty8113. That's
Spell that for us.
Yes, that's Letty 8113. That's how I appear on TikTok. I'm also on Instagram. It's FAMOSA 13. And also you can find me on Facebook just by my name, Leticia Arvelo. And can I give my number here?
Yeah, for sure.
My phone number is 631-464-5896. That's how you can get in
Thank
contact with me.
There we go. Thank you so much again, Leticia. This was a pleasure talking to you. Like, I want to have you on again because I feel like there's a lot more to your story, and I mean, I know there's a lot more to your story. There's a lot more inspiration that you can share because I think a lot of times people think that, we just come in here and just win, 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 but there's a process to winning, right? You gotta be bad before you get good, and it doesn't matter where you came from. Everybody can win, but your bottom line is just don't quit. You just got to keep going.
You got to keep going. This
Thank you.
works.
It does. Thank
Thank
you, beautiful. Thank you so much for your time.
you for having
Make
me.
sure you share this, and ladies or gentlemen, whoever's watching, if you know of other women in business, they don't necessarily have to be an FFL, but let them know. DM me so we get them on this show, this podcast, so we can spread the word about women in business. And this is Women in Business Wednesdays. We'll see you next week. Have a great one.
Bye.